Pain don't hurt. Welcome in to the Bro Force Squad podcast. Just a bunch of bros talking superheroes, movies, and superhero movies. I am your host, Jeff Hornacek. This is our 27th episode. I cannot believe the government has not caught wind of this and shut us down. Let's go around and meet the bros before we get started. First off, our enforcer in the paint with his bloodied elbows, Matthew F. Geiger. Matt, welcome into the show.
Thanks. I'm trying not to have this be a look-ahead episode for me, because this kind of feels like I'm playing Florida International and Florida States this week, since you guys said that we could do a Roadhouse movie commentary, but I'm going to give it my all for our fans.
Yeah, because someone might have bet on you minus the points, so maybe they need you to do well. Speaking of never someone to bet on, our mad scientist in the lab, Brian Banner. Banner, how are we doing?
Thank you for that compliment.
Well,
I'm doing very well. How are you doing this
Good.
fine evening?
Why do you sound like the kids in Mary Poppins after their parents get really fucking mad at them and hire that like in-house maid to raise them?
Because I got a spoonful of sugar, thank you very much.
That wasn't sugar. On to our final guest today, our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. Ronnie, welcome in, man.
Well, thanks, man. You guys must be pretty desperate if you guys are having me back on this one.
Yeah, Banner just has a feeling he's going to get sued a lot recently, so we figured we'd butter you up.
Yeah, we're like Mississippi State Community College. We'll take about anybody.
All right, guys, if you've not listened to us before, thank you so much for checking us out. If you are a regular listener, you probably have problems in your life, but so do we, and we love you and appreciate you coming back time and time again. We normally break our show down into 3 separate segments. A chest day, which we're going to skip today because beach season's almost over, so fuck it. And a protein shake, which probably won't go well with our beer, although we don't know for sure. So we're going to skip that too and go straight to some awesome fan questions we found across the internet. But first, Banner, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, brah.
Do you even lift?
Brah, I lift like 4 times a day, brah.
Okay, that's actually
You lift, brah?
That's actually too many to be productive. Like at a certain point, law of diminishing returns, just fucking stop lifting weights.
No, you just got to get those gains. Just pump
All
them
right.
out.
And so our segment today is our question and answer segment called Do You Even Lift, Bruh? And we scoured the internet and found these questions. Our first one comes to us from Jacob Jones at Jake Jones SWR, who says, if Logan doesn't crack the Best Picture race to be the first superhero film to do so, do you think any superhero movie ever will? Now, Banner, you're the Fox guy, and as a result, you have to take a lot of shit from us, but also when they do make a good movie...
Well-deserved, though.
Well-deserved, but when they do make a good movie, you actually get to enjoy it. So I'll let you go first with Jacob's question about Logan and any potential nomination for Best Picture at the Oscars.
I don't think it's going to get a nom for Best Picture. I do, however, think that in the future, within 5 years, a superhero film will get one. I think Logan is the first big stepping stone to get a superhero movie into Best Picture category or even discussions, because this is the first one that really showed us that a superhero movie doesn't have to be around having superpowers, and if you lose, the end of the world is coming. This is more character-driven. There's obviously you have the superhero aspect, but there's more story there. There's more meat on the bone than a lot of your superhero movies have had in the past. So to answer the question, I don't think it's going to get one, but will there be one? Yes, I do think so.
Yeah, I think it deserves one, but I think, especially the way the Oscars have trended the last few years, it's getting very art house and kind of like films have to fit a certain type of structure. Like this last year, they had to basically be depressing as fuck for you to have a chance to be nominated. And I think Logan or superhero films in general have a chance to win maybe like visual awards, but I don't know about Best Picture. Geiger, what are your thoughts on this question?
Well, we're in August, so we only got about 4 more months to go. And the only ones I can think of, besides I think Logan deserves it, is probably Dunkirk, which I really didn't like, but a lot of people did. And I think Get Out has a chance. But if Logan doesn't, the only other movie I could see maybe doing it is a Reeves-directed Batman. If they do it right, kind of do a solo story, just because he's the most well-known hero. But being a connoisseur of comic book movies, if you will, I think Logan is the most well-deserved of any of them, for sure. It should definitely get a nod this year.
Cycli, you actually just got back from Dunkirk, which is already leading the early Oscar buzz, so your palate has freshly tasted some Oscar material. What are your thoughts on this question and sort of where the Oscars are going now?
Well, first thing, in terms of with Logan, look, my high bar is The Dark Knight, and if Dark Knight doesn't get a nom, then Logan's not getting a nomination.
That's a great point.
And not to take anything away from Logan, but that's such a high bar. I don't think anything's met that yet. But I do think a movie like that can get a nomination and does deserve a nomination. Now, I definitely agree that Get Out should get the nomination. And if it does, if not, at the very least, win Best Original Screenplay. That has to win
100%,
Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just saw Dunkirk, and I think I reflect on your complaints as well. It will get some visual noms, but I don't see that getting the Best Movie.
I hope not, at least. I don't know. And I don't mean, again, it's not a slight to Christopher Nolan, but I'll say this. The Oscars love depressing films, and that movie was depressing enough to at least get a nomination, which is sad.
He just had way too much potential that was left off the screen.
Depressed we spent our money on it. I guess that counts.
All right, great question, Jacob. Thanks so much. Our next question comes to us from Derek Richardson at Dirk_101. And this is one of my favorite questions we've ever had on the show. So he wants to know, what's your favorite line in a film? Mine is, F me, he cleared it, from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which is such a sleeper movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. So I guess we'll just go around. Cycly, do you have a favorite line in a movie, or do you want me to come back to you?
You know, it's there's a few of them, but when I just think of like epic moments and epic lines, I always think back to Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood, when he's saying, "I drink your milkshake," and that entire scene at the end, and you're almost laughing, and then you realize the seriousness of the situation, and it just completely leaves the audience breathless at the end of that movie and what he does if you haven't seen it. So. There's a lot of funny movies, one-liners I can think of, but in terms of just epic moments in a movie, that's got to be at the top for me.
I remember after I saw There Will Be Blood, I was with you. I didn't really know how to feel about it, and then I realized how scared every other actor on set must have been because Daniel Day-Lewis is psychotic and probably was actually going crazy.
He's a method actor, so he actually killed that guy for real.
Yeah,
that's what he
how
does.
committed are you to the bit? Show me. Murder someone on screen. Banner, we'll go to you. What is your favorite line in a film?
So I went a little different direction. I went to one where I quote on a daily basis, and that's from Happy Gilmore when he says, "That's pretty sick, Chubbs." I use that line. It's good in any situation. You can cut the tension with it. If something is actually disgusting, it fits. If you don't know what somebody's saying, you could say that and just kind of get out of it. If you're, feeling uncomfortable, you just say, "That's pretty sick, Chubbs," and walk away. And it's kind of a mic drop moment. So I use it all the time. That's one of my favorite lines from any movie.
It's gotten me out of a lot of stuff at work. 100%. Geiger, we'll go to you. What is your favorite line in a movie?
Mine's from the Emoji Movie.
Kill
you
yourself.
Can see yourself out.
Honestly?
Okay.
I'm just disgusted.
Actually, mine's from my favorite movie of all time, Blow. And it's a really cool thing to say whenever, you're getting your first beer at the bar at 5 o'clock on Friday. May the wind always be at your back, the sun upon your face, and may the winds of destiny carry you aloft to dance with the stars. And also when you say that, your work friends, they're like, "Oh, I don't know what that's from." You're like, "Oh my God, go watch Blow tonight." And if they do know what it's from, they're probably packing, and you could probably get like a blunt from them later. So you win both ways. You're either going to talk about the movie or you're going to smoke weed, and then talk about the movie.
That's what we call a proverbial fork in the road in the night. One of two things is about to happen. First off, I don't think it can be said enough, Derek Richardson, I love Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I know we said that earlier, but huge fan of it on this pod. Mine is
actually my favorite quote from there is, "Loxley, I'm going to eat your heart out with a
spoon."
That's probably my favorite quote for that movie.
Loxley. Mine is from Wedding Crashers. Geiger and I quote this all the time, and it's, "Oh, take off the white wig. Stop judging people." Also, I say "sorry, I'm not sorry" a lot. I don't know if that was actually originated in Wedding Crashers, but that perfected it, as far as I'm concerned. Great question, Derek. That's one of my favorite ones we've ever had on the pod. Our next question comes to us from Curious George. So I guess somehow the monkey got access to the internet, which is kind of cool, and makes me afraid of Planet of the Apes actually happening.
Yeah, bro, it's 2017. It doesn't surprise me.
And his handle is @YesUDAS625, and he says, What do you guys think will be the best August movie? So I wrote the list on the show notes for you guys to look at. Spoiler alert, it's horrendous. Now, Banner, you're going to somehow find some gem in here, so I'll let you go first and dig out like this token and all the shit, and then we'll get back to reality, as Slim Shady would say right after that.
First off, The Dark Knight there's gonna be a good story in there somewhere. Okay?
The Dark Knight?
No, The
I
Dark Tower.
love The Dark Knight's being re-released.
Yeah,
I am
Jesus
very
Christ.
excited about that.
They
Yeah,
could
so
actually
fuck that up
re-release
already.
it and probably be the #1 selling movie in August if they wanted to.
No, The Dark Tower. All right, excuse
Yeah,
me.
big fucking
It's
difference.
got to be dark one.
Maybe we don't know. We haven't seen this yet. I also think that Lucky Logan has a
Okay,
shot at being
it's
good.
Logan Lucky. If you don't even fucking know the title of it, you can't say it's the best movie. And
All right. I concede.
Cycly, what do you think for August movies?
Stalemate.
Look, guys, I'm not going to sugarcoat this and try to give it an answer. There is not a good movie in August coming.
No. Save your money.
I mean, I guess, I mean, I'll go with The Dark Tower, I guess, but Annabelle, maybe. I don't know. It's like, there's really not a good answer. I'm sorry,
It's
guys.
interesting.
So Nut Job 2 isn't doing anything for you, Cycly?
Oh, I thought that was just not fair to include it in the category.
I did mean besides Nut Job 2, obviously.
Yeah, because that's such an obvious, like, I thought he was meaning anything other than Nut Job 2.
Right. Okay, that makes total sense now. Geiger, what do you think of this shit
This is
plate?
a great, terrible question. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the Hitman's Bodyguard the one with Samuel and Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Yes.
pick.
I think that might actually be good because we've been waiting for a good comedy all year. But basically, like, this is just picking the tallest midget or the fat chick with the biggest tits. I mean, you're not really going to win very much. These all look kind of terrible. But give me Ryan Reynolds. I'm hopefully that's rated R. And we've been waiting for a good comedy all year. So I'll pick that one, sure.
Yeah, let's give a prop, though, to the Nut Job 2 Nutty by Nature for having maybe one of the worst fucking titles of any movie, even for a kid's movie that I've ever heard. Nutty by Nature isn't even like a saying, is it? I've never heard that.
Naughty
I
by
don't think
nature.
so.
is like
Honestly, if you told me that was a porn, that may have potential.
I don't even have a response to that. I was so Banner,
IMAX
you
3D August 12th.
Banner, you had a horrible showing when I first asked the question. You rallied right there and made up for it.
Look, call me Clutch McGee.
You got back to 500. All right. Our next question comes from Rocky Drago 6 at rdrago 66, and he wants to know, what actors in 2017 have lost some credibility? I say Scarlett Johansson after Ghost in the Shell and Rough Night. Now, I'll go first on this one. This is low-hanging fruit, and I know Geiger may just disagree because he inherently has to defend him, but I'm going to say The Rock. Fate of the Furious did a ton of money at the box office, but it was not that good. Baywatch was a failure both critically and at the box office. And that means that he's hanging his faith on Jumanji to save him for the year. And I'm not fucking seeing that movie.
Wrong.
So,
Fake news.
yeah.
You don't watch
Year-
Ballers.
That's not a movie.
But it's
He's got a
fucking
point,
awesome. So
He's got a point. If you watch Ballers, it
You would-
makes up for.
you
He
would
can
be
make the
shut
shittiest
down.
movies ever.
There's no
And
way
you're going to
can...
regret that comment when he runs for president in 2020.
That'll never happen. All right, Geiger, what do you think about any actor who's lost credibility in 2017?
I'm probably gonna take one. Anyone else have Marky Mark? I picked Wahlberg.
No.
I mean, he had Ted 2 a couple years ago. It was terrible. Transformers. I mean, the guy's becoming Johnny Depp. He's doing DirecTV commercials for Christ's sake. I mean, wasn't he in The Fighter a couple of years ago? And was always he always did shitty blockbuster movies, but then he kind of throw in maybe like a movie that you think might be up for an Oscar somewhere. But he hasn't done that in years, man. And I don't know. He just kind of lost it for me. I've actually kind of liked a lot of the movies he's in, except for lately. So I'll pick him.
I don't know if these came out this year because time blurs together when you're drunk half the time, but he did Deepwater Horizon and Patriots Day, which were smaller releases. But at
Patriots Day was last year. I know.
least was Deepwater Horizon this year. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
no, that was last year too. I think because it was up for an
All right,
Oscar
well, then-
last year. I think.
then yeah.
But he
Mark.
has Daddy's Home 2 coming out
Yeah,
this year.
that was coming out
So,
too this year. It's just
I
brutal,
mean-
man.
Jesus Christ. Cycly, what do you have for actors who have lost credibility? Whose number you've
I'll
deleted?
100% agree with Mark Wahlberg. I mean, I think back to like movies like The Departed and things he was in, and I used to look forward to his movies. And right now, completely dropped off for me. And so with that, I don't know, 2017 hasn't been that great of a year for a lot of actors. So, if I just think about long-term actors that I used to look forward to and now just completely have no problem missing, I always have to say Will Smith and Tom Cruise.
Oh.
I know that's the 2017 conversation, but just in general, man, in the mid-2000s, anything Will Smith touched, I wanted part of it. Not anymore. Same with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and I
so
don't
would
think...
you say Bad Boys 2 was a good movie?
It's a loaded
That's a trick.
question. Yeah. I'll say this, that Will Smith...
That was a good movie.
That Will Smith Netflix movie Bright, directed by David Ayer, who did Suicide Squad, is not doing anything for me either. So
yeah, talk about Suicide Squad.
Cruise might be okay because no one saw The Mummy, so no one's going to remember it even came out.
Yeah, but can you give him points for that? Well, no one saw it. You're safe.
Yeah, you're safe. No one even remembers it.
Can someone remind me what Will Smith dropped to do Suicide Squad?
Independence Day Regurgence.
So he ruined 2 movies by that decision.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Banner, what do you got for actors who have totally lost credibility with you?
Well, he didn't have a whole lot for me to begin with, but Matt Damon, he did The Great Wall. I don't know what else he's
Geiger
done this
fucking
year.
hates Damon.
Yeah,
I've never thought Damon was good anyway, but yeah.
I liked him in The Martian, but past that, well, in Good Will Hunting, but past that, nah.
I liked him as Bourne, but the ponytail, if you don't know karate when you have a ponytail, you've lost me completely. I'm out.
He was really good in Team America, I thought, personally.
That was the role of a lifetime. All right,
I liked him in Departed and Oceans 11 and 13, but basically it's because he was hidden, by 4 or 5 other great actors.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
It's never good when you tell a guy, hey, for you to be your best, just don't be on screen that much, okay?
Yeah.
All right, our last question comes to us from Chris Fitzpatrick at CMFitz12, who says, if you could change any one thing, big or small, in the MCU, what would it be? I'm going to go first because we know. I'm not going to mention the Mandarin because I just refuse to admit that happened. One thing.
Yeah, leave that to me.
Jesus, you're sick. You're sick, Chubbs. One thing that is kind of small now, people forget about, but I would have liked from the start is to not have recast Edward Norton and Terrence Howard and just have Ruffalo and Don Cheadle play Bruce Banner and Rhodey from the very beginning, which I think would have been cool. I liked Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, but apparently he was a psycho on set. So, and obviously Ruffalo we've come to love. Geiger, we'll go straight to you since you're disgusting, and I'm probably going to say what I think you're going to say.
I mean, if you guys really want to know how I feel, go listen to our Civil War movie commentary, but the stakes should have been raised during that movie. No one fucking died, and the movie started and ended the same thing. There was no conflict. There was nothing to go into a different movie. I totally disagreed with the vision they took. Someone should have died to up the stakes and made it believable that Cap and Iron Man could actually go against each other. I always had a problem with that movie, and I thought up to this point, it should be their best movie, and I don't even know if it's top 10 for me in Marvel movies.
Wow.
Other than Spider-Man going in, that was cool, but there was no stakes. There was nothing happened. I mean, you started out one way, stuff happened, you just ended up that exact same way at the end. And I always felt that was a huge missed opportunity for him.
Banner, what do you got?
Well, I think they should have made it a little bit more clear that Vision took Ultron to an alternate dimension at the end of Age of Ultron.
If I made it clear, do you mean completely
this
change?
This question's just to air out our dirty laundry and just get in a fight, I guess.
Banner, you need help, man. You need help.
No, in all seriousness.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it right the
Every
second
that's
time.
right.
I would have liked them to just not done Thor: The Dark World at all. We didn't get anything out of it other than the ether. They could have easily done that as an end credit scene in literally any of the movies, and we would have been okay. And then just gone straight to Ragnarok.
Cycly, any thoughts on this, or should we just close with the awful?
Yeah,
Mandarin?
it's really simple for me. I think they should just surrender and declare DC better. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Now you're pandering to Geiger, and
Also,
it's
they should have brought in Blade already, I thought, too.
yeah, that's true. That would have worked. And of course, we can't get the fucking Mandarin twist. Horrendous. All right, guys, we have been the Bro Force Squad for Ronnie Cycly, for Brian Banner, and Matt Geiger. I am Jeff Hornacek. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Bro Force Squad. Give us a like on Facebook, Bro 4 Squad Podcast. That's 4 words. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube, Bro 4 Squad, 3 words. If you could leave us an iTunes review, we will just be your biggest fan, like you are ours. And check out all of our content on bro4squad.com. We're going to go, quote, blow some more at the bar and see who picks up on it. We'll catch you next time.